So before I start, I just want to say thank you to Nottingham Ducati for allowing me to borrow the bike for a day while one of mine was in the workshop having some bits and pieces done to it. They've done a fabulous job, as always, and I really appreciate the time with the bike. So this is now my review of the Ducati V2 Streetfighter. I'll just quickly go through some stats. If you want more detailed information, there's a million other videos out there that describe all the power and torque and things like that. But as I understand it at the moment, price of this vehicle here is £14,995. It has a 955cc 90-degree V-twin engine. It's putting out 151 horsepower, 101 newton meters of torque, which isn't shabby. Top speed estimated is 170 miles per gallon, 47. These are all claimed figures, obviously. Tank size 17 litres. Claimed range is 173. On my trip out, I worked, well, the red light from full came on at 109 miles, so I doubt there's going to be another 60-something miles in the tank. And to be honest, we weren't riding particularly fast or anything like that, sort of A-road riding, so that may be a little bit of an overestimation, possibly. There's a full suite of rider aids, riding modes, cornering ABS, lean sensitive traction control, wheelie control, engine braking control, all sorts of things. There's Brembo monoblock M4 calipers, which do a brilliant job. The brakes are phenomenal. If you like doing stoppies and things like that, wicked. Tyres, top class, Pirelli Diablo Rosso 4s. We were nowhere near getting near the limit of testing those tyres, to be fair. Even on the sunny day, we had 22 degrees, blue sky, sun all day, and scratching around was nowhere near the limit of those tyres. Weight of the bike, 200 kilos wet, so it's not a fatty. Probably a good choice for anyone that may struggle moving a bigger bike around. Yeah, so that's pretty decent. Service intervals, 7,500 miles and 15,000 miles for valve checks, which isn't bad either. I understand the V4s have got phenomenal service intervals, but not bad for a V-twin. So, what did we learn from riding the V2? Well, first of all, I was a little bit sceptical that it may be a small bike for someone of myself, being 6'3" and a bit fat. I didn't really feel that, to be fair. It fits really nice. The pegs are at a sensible height. They're not too racy. You're not too tucked up. The seat itself is quite plush. We rode around all day, and only towards the end of the day did I start to feel a little bit of fatigue in the old arse cheeks. The handlebar position is pretty good. It's obviously a more upright riding position. It's probably a little more biased forwards, so you do get that kind of more progressive kind of feeling when you're riding, rather than being laid back in a sort of more cruiser style, which is nice. Mirrors, pretty decent. They did take a little bit of adjusting. I did have to, for my height, I did have to roll the clutch pedal forward a bit just to allow me to be able to see properly through that side mirror. Other than that, ergonomics wise, the only negative I can really think of, that the front of the bike is very low. So what I found, it just to have that little quick glimpse at the dash, you have to make quite a positive gesture of looking down at the dash to see what you're doing. I mean, that may be a factor that I'm very tall, So I've got a lot further to go to see it. Maybe a shorter rider, it would just be a flick of the eyes. But for me, I found that I did have to take my eyes off of the road quite a lot to see the dash. The dash itself is really cool. Colour TFT, says everything on it that you need to know. Gear selector, speed, all the other flashing lights. You can quite easily flick through the different modes, which are race, road, and wet, I think. This bike has even got heated grips fitted to it. I don't know if that is a standard fitment on this bike or not, but that was not that I needed them in a 22-degree day, but it's obviously quite a nice thing to have on a naked bike, having no protection at all. With regards to protection, I know you can also buy a small fly screen, dart screen, whatever you want to refer to it as. That may give you a little bit more protection on the chest. Not overly convinced with that because they are very small. If you're going to be buying a naked bike, maybe you should just suck that up at the end of the day. On a cold morning, you may just get cold. But yeah, if I talk about the finish now on the bike, all the components on this bike are premium. Everything from the shocks, the brakes, the calipers, the pads, the discs, indicators, switch gear, the seat, everything feels quality. There's no rattles, there's no squeaks, there's no creaks in any of the panels. It feels solid all over. Even down to the quality of the fasteners in the bodywork here. They're not just a cheap fastener. They're all very nice with an integrated washer on the bottom of them and things like that. The shocks are fully adjustable, which you'd expect. Same on the forks. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about it other than it is just top quality. I mean, there's a few optional extras on this bike, like the brake levers. There's a bit of carbon on the mud guard, things like that. You can buy more accessories. There's some spaces here for some of the V4 style wings that you see. My eyes did water a bit when I researched that at the price. A set of wings are over £1,000 just for the wings. So, you know, by the time you fully kit one of these up, you probably wouldn't be far off touching on the V4 Streetfighter money. So that opens up another conversation, I guess. So performance of the bike. I found the first time I got on the bike, pulled away, I found the clutch was a little bit sharp, a little bit eager. This may have been that the bike was a little bit cold, I don't know. But very quickly, literally I'm talking 400 or 500 metres down the road, changed up through a few gears. Amazing. It all kind of clicked and came together. The bike is fitted with an up-down quick shifter, and the Ducati system is, in my opinion, one of the best I've ridden, if not the best. It's very smooth. You can change gear in almost any revs. The blipper on the downshift is great. It really kind of gives you that tingly feeling when you're kind of rolling up to a roundabout and you're just banging down the gearbox, 3 or 4 gears even, and it just gives you that little lift of revs as you go down the gears. Very racy. It's it's sort of every boy's sort of dream, really. Blipping the throttle when you downshift like that. The engine itself, it's a little bit lazy at low revs, but very quickly the power kicks in, and it will pull. This bike in particular is still not had its first service yet, so it's advised to ride it at the lower revs. So we didn't really abuse it. So we didn't feel the full benefit of the rev range, but you can tell once it hits about 4,500, 5,000, she's pulling, and you can feel where the torque is in the rev range. Yeah, great bike in that respect. Overtaking it is easy. You don't have to work the bike too hard. And then coupled with the brakes to stop you from high speed, yeah, it's a really good package. This bike is fitted with standard exhaust. You can't see it at the moment because it's the other side. It's got a nice little carbon bit of trim on it. It looks okay. I mean, a lot of people want to spend thousands of pounds on an exhaust. It's not quiet. It's not noisy either. It does pop and bang a bit on overrun, which is quite cool, especially, like I say, when you're downshifting into a roundabout or something like that, and you get the odd pop. I think there's enough there for most people to get the enjoyment out of. This bike has also got the rear cowling cover on. I understand there is a rear seat for it. I don't think this is really a bike for passengers. It's very, very small at the back. Maybe just to nip to the shops on, it would be fine. I think you'd be better spent maybe having a tail pack on there if you're going out for a long day or a weekend. But yeah, it is what it is. It's not designed to be a touring bike or whatever. So use that rear seat at your peril. So the day we had the bike, we, as in me and my partner, we went for a day out. We decided that I needed some new riding jeans, so we took this bike and her Monster up to Sports Bike Shop near Boston, which is a sort of 30-35 miles away. That was a nice, excuse me, that was a nice ride. We stayed there for an hour or so, had a coffee. The bike actually got quite a bit of attention. I think the perception is that you don't see a lot of the Streetfighters on the road. I don't know how many they sell, but quite a few people came and had a look around it, which was interesting. After that, we were going to go home, but we decided that from there we would nip up to Skegness for some lunch, get some fish and chips on the beach. And again, the ride was amazing. There's some nice little routes up to Skegness from Boston. So we took it that way, parked up in the main motorcycle car park amongst all the other bikes and things. And again, it did get quite a bit of attention. I suppose the fact of having a Monster and a Streetfighter together is quite nice. So people came and had a look, asked a few questions about the bike. I think compared to some of the competition, it is probably one of the most expensive bikes in its class, if not the most expensive bike in its class. But depending on what you want out of bike ownership, it will give you things that, say, a Suzuki or a Z Kawasaki 900 won't give you, which is that Exotica Italian chic. The bike itself is obviously quite stunning, quite striking. The red is always a giveaway to people. Oh, there's a Ducati, and they'll come and have a look. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's perfect. So yeah. So to sum this bike up, I think it's an amazing bike, really. I was very surprised it would fit me, being as tall as I am. I'm not really a naked bike kind of person, but if I was in the market for one, this would be on my list of bikes to buy. I've not ridden the V4 yet, but I'd be interested in comparing the two and seeing how different they are. I've got a V4 Multistrada, and I know the engine on that is sounds a little bit like a sewing machine. whereas this has still got that V-twin, noise and feel. So I don't know, maybe this is the more real bike to own. Performance-wise, if I had to mark it out of 10, it would be an easy 8, maybe a 9. And that's only because it's the only reason I wouldn't mark it higher is because I couldn't use all the revs because of the it not having its first service yet. I'm sure that if I was able to use it to its full, I'd be scoring it higher. Ergonomics, again, I'd probably give that an 8. The only reason I would probably mark it higher is if by the end of the day I didn't get a little bit of arseache. But again, that could be down to just my size, weight, things like that. But for anyone else, it might be fine. Coolness, I've got to give that a 9. I would say there's never a perfect vehicle, so it can't be a 10. So that was my quick review of the VT Multistrada. I'm not one for strapping cameras to my head and seeing endless miles of footage of the dash and the road. There are a million other people out there doing that. I just want to give you a quick opinion of what I think, being an engineer and a guy who manufactures parts for motorcycles. I may have a slightly different look on things to other people. We have looked at this bike now as well. We're going to come up with a few products for it. Not sure what yet, but keep your eyes peeled for those. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in any of our products, our company is Iconic Parts, which is www.iconicparts.uk. We do quite a few parts for Ducatis as well as other brands like Honda, Kawasaki and Triumph. We are looking to branch out into other brands as well. So if anybody's got any bikes they would like to bring over for us to have a look, we'd much appreciate that. And yeah, we'll try and do a few more of these, and I will try and up the game a bit. We'll try and get some camera footage on the bikes, maybe, and whatnot. But yeah, we'll do what we can. Thanks for watching, and if you would be kind enough to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be much appreciated. The more people we get watching, the better. It spreads the word, and we can hopefully sell a few more products and hopefully grow the business, because that's what we're here to do at the moment. So we'd appreciate that. Thank you.